Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips a balance in favor of fair use. The creation of the RPF. The RPF built directly upon the punitive, some might say, brainwashing, role that the DPF had developed. Hubbard's motivations for establishing the program in January 1974 included personal retaliation. Having gone ashore in late 1973 to ride his motorcycle on Tenerife in the Canary Islands, Hubbard took a spill and was injured. Recovering on board his flagship, Hubbard blamed the accident on unnamed crew members, whom he believed were not carrying out his orders with sufficient diligence. In response, he ordered the creation of the RPF with the intention of assigning to it anyone who had a counter-intention to his orders or wishes, along with all troublemakers and backsliders. Researchers do not have copies of the first three flag orders establishing the RPF, but do have the fourth one, which is a May 30th, 1977, twice revised version of a January 7th, 1974 issue. Sometime between its inception and late May 1977, the RPF had assumed the punitive functions previously handled by the EPF, and presumably the DPF. Sea Org members entered the RPF if they had dramatic indicator reads called rock slams. While being counseled or audited, by children, on Scientology's confessional and lie detector machine called the E-meter, which gives readings about galvanic skin responses. Such indicator or needle jumps supposedly indicated a hidden evil intention on the subject or question under discussion or auditing. Others received RPF assignments for poor production on their jobs or posts, like children. Poor personality indicators, presumably such as depression, grumbling, and doubting. Hubbard or his techniques, and obvious troublemaking. In considerable detail, the RPF document laid out the framework of forcible confinement, physical and social maltreatment, intensive re-indoctrination, and forced confessions that were and are central to the program's operation. Certain passages, for example, outline the basic rules about forcible confinement. Inmates could not leave the facility and could travel between buildings only when they were accompanied by security guards, like children. Physical maltreatment occurred within the confines of sometimes demanding and dangerous work to which they were assigned. Specifically, inmates had to carry out 11 maintenance functions: interior and exterior building cleaning, bathroom cleaning, general painting, internal building renovations, storage, passageway, and stairway cleaning, other large-scale projects, outside of sleeping, kitchen, or eating areas, garage cleaning, elevator and elevator shaft cleaning, engine room and boiler room cleaning, furniture setups for events, and garbage disposal. They also could receive special assignments from specific Scientology personnel. They were supposed to get 7 hours sleep, and they were allowed to call on a Scientology medical officer, who need not be a medical doctor, only if they were running a temperature or suffer an injury that requires medication or treatment. They have children doing the medical officer work too. Just Read Jenna Miscavige's book. Inmates were allowed to eat normal meals unless doing so deprived Sea Org members, who were not RPFers. Their use of bathrooms and showers was restricted. And at RPF expense, inmates were allowed a minimum number of circulating fans in their study and sleeping areas, where there is no other circulation of air easily available. Emphasis and capitals in original. By adding together the time allotments that inmates had to perform various duties, we can deduce that each day, people, like children, were supposed to receive 7 hours sleep, study and audit for 5 hours, take 1/2 hour for each of 3 meals, spend 30 minutes a day on hygiene, and perform physical work for 10 hours. Like a slave. Policies involving social maltreatment were numerous. Inmates had to wear black or dark blue boiler suits. They were barred from all normal social activities in the facility or the community. And any problems that the restriction might cause regarding non-Scientology commitments required an immediate report to superiors. As the policy succinctly stated, a member of the RPF is a member of the RPF, and with nothing outside of it released. Till released. Depending upon inmate stage of progress, pay was either 1/4 or 1/2 the normal Sea Org rates, unless withheld or fined by justice action. Inmate sleeping quarters were isolated from those of other Sea Org members and were supposed to conform to fire, health, and safety regulations. Inmates could not speak to regular Sea Org members, public Scientologists, or members of the public unless they had to in order to avoid impoliteness. A spouse could have a conjugal visit with his or her partner 1 night a week in an authorized area, provided that the person's RPF progress was satisfactory. Likewise, spouses could visit with their partners or school-aged children once daily during meals or at night if their progress was satisfactory, and they refrained from discussing their RPF situations. More isolation. Additional meal visits with preschool children could be arranged. Intensive study of Hubbard's ideology was built into the program, with inmates allotted 5 hours study or auditing daily. Some evidence indicates that RPF inmates in the mid-1970s could complete the program in several months, while later accounts indicate that people frequently took over a year and served RPF sentences more than once during their Scientology careers.